Do you mind start with telling us a little bit about like where you are at the moment and what kind of work do you do?
Okay, so currently I'm in Zelenica. It means something like greenish, green space in a little village nearby Zagreb in Croatia. This is also my home. I live upstairs, but this downstairs space was too much for us when we moved into big house after a small apartment. So we decided to use this big space, not so big, but for us big, as a community space. So we are offering our private space to the whole village to use it. So children come here to learn how to play guitar, ukulele. We started a village choir and all kinds of creative. Today we have a workshop on drawing, so all kinds of things that people needed in the village, and they didn't have it before.
Yeah, and I also saw like behind you, is that like a performance stage?
Yes, the space originally when it was when it was building, the people that were architects that were thinking of this space, they imagined this would be a little chapel because the village didn't have a church back then, but it never came to realization. The house wasn't completely finished, never. It was built in the 80s. But then we moved in after Corona in 2020 first. And we decided, we saw it as a community space and as a little stage, yes.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive how you turn like part of your house to this community space. I'm wondering how many people like come on a like maybe weekly basis to use this space.
Well, it's not so big village, so and the city is actually pretty close by, so people from the village are used to going to the city if they need something. But we missed this connection in the village, and now the space in 1 week, people come to pick up their green baskets of vegetable of local producers, and also with these creative workshops, we'll have, I would say, around 50 people a week.
Right. Yeah. And I'm wondering, do you feel like it's hard or easy to make connections with people living around you? And because sometimes you move to different places and you feel a little bit new here, but you really want to get to know who's in the community and make connections. Do you think it's hard or easy, or are there any ways to like get around that?
Well, I would say it is hard, but it's also, I don't know, I guess I like these challenges in life. And I'm specialized in communities, in building communities, because I've done this before in the neighborhood Vrbani in city of Zagreb, where I used to live. Maybe I should tell you this story so you would understand better. Well, it all started when I got my first kid. It was 2009, and I think I was back then I was living through my personal transition. I didn't know that was the name, but it was transition definitely from this world that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable that you go to work and somebody else takes care of your kid for 10 hours. So in my head, it was a breaking point where I didn't want to live like that anymore. And I started to search for options, and my husband supported me in this idea, and we rented a space in this neighborhood because also in this neighborhood we didn't have any community spaces, so it was, like a new part of the city that was built, but no health care center, no library, no marketplace, no farmers, no no cultural events, nothing. So for everything you should just sit on the tram or in the car and go to the city center to have this kind of activities. So we decided to rent a space and start doing everything that we needed. And for the first year, I often say there was only me, myself, and Irene, because my name is Irene. Because I was a lot of the times I was organizing, leading workshops and attending workshops. So I was all by myself. But for some reasons, I was with my kids. Then I had also my second kid, so I was with my kids. I stayed at home to be with them, and I was slowly building this thing. I was playing, and I really needed the space. And slowly people started to come in. They were knocking and they were asking, "What is this place?" And I would say, "Well, it's all what you can imagine it would be. What do you need? What can you offer to the community?" And through these conversations, we started to build a program actually. Now in this space, it still exists. So in 2013, we opened this community center and association. Its name is Vestigium. It means footprint in Latin. And now it's a pretty famous community center and example of good practice, how people can self-organize and make changes in their communities. So now in last year, we did over 1,300 events for 4,700 people.
Wow.
It's a space of 80 square meters. So really small space with a lot of events and a lot of people engaged and believing and feeling good in this space, feeling supported and sharing this vibe all over the city.
I feel like you must be really proud seeing how big it has grown. I'm wondering, you mentioned that it's a pretty slow phase at the beginning of it. Did you feel like a little bit lonely or less supported at that stage? Or how did you like get over that?
Absolutely, I felt really alone in this. I had a support of my friends, but they and my husband, but they were supporting me, but they didn't really get what I was into. You know, they weren't on the same step as I was. You know, they were like, "Okay, let's do it. How can we support you?" They were asking, but we weren't on the same level. So, but later it turned on great because they got me, and a lot of people that think alike came to this place. So now it's like we are really big community of people that think alike. So I don't feel alone anymore. But back then, what I would say that helped me the most was meditation.
Yeah, what did you do for meditation? Do you have like any sort of like guidance, audio guidance or anything?
I would just, play some meditation from YouTube, something just to relax my mind, to uh, put away the fears and worries and just to relax for 10 minutes, 10 minutes a day. I would just play something, relax your arms, relax your legs, just 10 minutes to shut off your brain that is constantly worried and thinking of problems. And I think it helped me, to calm my mind and to stay playful and creative, to imagine nice things, not bad things.
Yeah, I think I can definitely agree with that because a lot of times I feel like there are too many noise around us. Like meditation is really a good practice to find the quiet place in ourselves. Yes. And also probably like bring us to the very beginning. Maybe can you tell us like where did you first hear about the transition movement? Do you feel like you are connected to that concept immediately, or do you later feel supported by this network?
Yeah, well, I would say on this road, things were very synchronized. So in this 2013, right month before we opened this space as a community center, I was invited to see a movie in Transition 2.0. So I was sitting with my sister and with my friend, and in the dark we were holding hands. I won't remember this. I won't forget this moment because we were holding hands and a little bit crying also during some, I don't know which scene, but we were like holding hands and thinking like, yes, that's it, you know, that's what we were missing, and that it has the name. It is transition. So it came to the right moment, you know, and that inspired that movie inspired us not just to open the space, but to launch the space with this big community action of planting flowers on our square in front of the our association, because it was a big gray area, just concrete, you know, just benches were broken, no flowers in these pots, big pots, like and we decided to make this big action, and we just put some posters through the neighborhood, and we invited people to bring some colors to the world and to this square. To So we were painting the benches and planting flowers, and local pizzeria gave us some pizzas and juices, and some grandmothers baked some cakes. So it was really it was really nice start, and
Yeah.
transition pushed us in this direct direction.
Yeah. Is there any like particular aspect of the transition network that really drew you into it?
Well, I would say this idea of small communities uh, making small actions in their local area, but if we are a lot of us in the world, we can make a big change. So I think this idea of small communities making big differences, that would be it.
Yeah. And also you mentioned earlier the how you turn the square in your city into a very colorful corner. I think I've seen some pictures of it online and I was really amazed by like how colorful it now is. And also I remembered you talked about in another interview that the city itself, and sometimes they have regulation over like what kind of plants is allowed in this corner. So maybe this brings us to the next question. So how do you feel like the city's role in this, in the community action? How much should they get involved? What do you think?
Well, back then when we were starting, we had problems with corrupted mayor. He passed away, but back then it was really struggle to be association, to do these kind of actions, because everything was forbidden. You know, if you planted the flowers in front of the building, you would get a penalty. You will get punishment. You would have to pay penalty because you planted flowers. We had no financial support, industrial. We paid industrial fee for using the space, so totally lack of support, and always expecting that we will be punished because of something. But a good friend of mine told me, like, well, in transition, we first do things, then we apologize after. Like, we don't ask for permits to plant flowers. Just do it, and I will help you if somebody comes. So yeah, I really like that advice and that approach. I'm still using it. But we had a major change in 2021, I think. Our currently mayor is actually, he graduated on transition, and he knows all about it. He was eco activist, and now this square looks totally different. Now they moved a lot of concrete parts. It's actually in renovation now, because we got some new green areas on this square. There will be trees planted, and total change, total green change, opposite of when I started. So I would say our actions and have already led to a big change in the city.
Yeah, and I think it must be really great to see like all those changes taking place, because at first probably the square thing is probably the only thing that's happening for the community, like in terms of like culture and environment. And yeah, you also mentioned that in the community there's this kind of infrastructure problem, or maybe like the lack of it. That's why you wanted to do something. What do you think that made you the one to take actions? I believe there are other people in the community who have the same issue, but what do you think that made you take the action?
Well, first it was my personal thing, you know. First came this personal transition, then I saw the movie, and then I realized, oh, we are the ones that we were waiting for, you know. So I took a step as a person. In my personal life, I took this big step and saying no to the system and the life that was like written for me. So it was easy for me to take this step also through association to make some decisions that were pretty bold and brave, that maybe I wouldn't take them if I didn't know about the movement and about the movie and the examples that were seen in them there.
Yeah, and also like quite interestingly, I know that you come from a background of economy. So how do you think that does that like influence the way you carry out community actions? Are you more of the time thinking about like the economy of how you run different projects? Does that influence the way you do things?
Sure, economy helps, you know, because you have to in the end of the day you have to pay the bills of the space, you know, that you are using, and you have to pay the people that are doing workshops. They can't be volunteers forever. So I think it's important that you know, we exchange a lot of things and a lot of goods in our community, but money is also part of this exchange. So it's important for us, yeah, to write projects to see how can we collect some donations from the users and some memberships. So from this money we can pay our bills and the staff.
Yeah. And also, I know that the example of Vestigium has also like kind of traveled to other neighborhoods, so they have their own groups as well. So, what do you think that makes your example, the Vestigium, so attractive, and also make it something that can be happening in other places, maybe in different culture as well?
Well, a lot of people, you know, still, I mean, it's years now, but a lot of people, when they find out about us, they ask me, you know, for this know-how. Tell us how you did it. Can you come to our neighborhood and do it? You know, and it's not easy. I'm not, you know, McDonald's, so I can make franchise in every neighborhood, city, country, you know. I think Vestigium is something that came from me and from the people that were around me in this community. And in every neighborhood, there would be something else, because there would be different people. I realize now that in the village, activities that we do are uh, different than in the city. You know, different people are here, even if it's just like 10 kilometers away. It's very different. So I guess the recipe would be to look inside yourself and find out what makes you happy, what you love to do, and you know, make a list of what you know to do and what you can offer to the community, and then sit and talk with other peoples too, and they make their list, and then you agree on things, what you can do about it, you know, what problems can you maybe solve, and what needs can you satisfy, and around what you can be happy together. So that's something I would recommend.
Yeah, and maybe looking at like all those projects that are up and running now, I'm wondering like how many of those are kind of planned, or how many of those are really like spontaneous, like people have different skills, so they just bring different activities here. Or do you design any agenda like before like all those projects take shape?
Well, we are not people that plan a lot and that have a lot of meetings. We just, yeah, go with the flow, and I think we do something and we try it out, then we formalize it through some project. If we are, if for example we are doing this club for older people in our association, and first we started as volunteers. We offered them some creative workshops, and then through some talks with them, we find out that they want to play some board games. Maybe the other part wants to just sit in a circle and talk, and the other part just wants to draw something for 2 hours. So it's again different people that you have to talk with and ask them, what you want. And also in this activity came out that some of them like to cook. So we also had workshops on cooking because they liked it. And maybe if we first wrote the project, then we would say we would just have creative workshops, and we would miss the third, 2/3 of this population, because not everybody likes to be just creative and raw, but they want also other things to do.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, do you have any like personal preference? What's your favorite project out of all those projects, and why do you think you feel like more connected to the project?
Well, I would say my first project, it was like a play group for children that don't go to kindergarten. So it was me with my two kids. They didn't go to kindergarten because I wanted to be at home with them, but I also wanted to socialize with other mothers, and I didn't want them just to be alone home with me. So we created this space where mothers and babies could come in the morning hours and be together. So we were sharing our, problems, our happiness, and the children were playing. We could, have some rest and drink a coffee because kids were playing with other kids. And I think I'm proud of this because this was, something that I needed, I created, and it continued. It's now over 10 years that it exists. My kids are now in high school, but we have this going on because always new mothers come with the same need, and they continue to lead this program. And also a farmers market that we created. It happened because I ordered these green baskets of vegetables for myself from one ecological producers near Zagreb, and I said to my colleagues like, "Oh, my first basket is coming next week," and they said like, "Why didn't you order for us too? Why didn't you tell us?" Like, I don't need to share everything with you. Yeah, you have to. So by the end of the year, that week first week we had 3 baskets, and the end of the year we had 20 baskets. Now we have 50 producers, and we have farmers market on Saturdays and green baskets on Mondays. So this is also something that continues, even if I don't know, gone for 2 months, it self-sustains. So these farmers know what to do, and consumers also are used to this, our community supported agriculture group. So they are supporting each other, and that's amazing how it continues.
Yeah, and I also really like the idea of the farmers market because as consumers, we know that we are spending the money goes to the people in the community, and also those foods they are coming in from our community, from our local places. We know it's safe, we know it's sustainable. Yeah, I really do like this idea. Yeah, and also because you talked about your kids and children earlier, and you also mentioned in another interview, I think you were saying that a lot of people from your place, particularly young people, they are moving to other parts of Europe. So do you think it's kind of hard to engage children or like teenagers, young people, in community projects like this? Maybe can we start with like your own kids? They are, you said, teenagers right now. How do they feel about the community projects?
Well, they pretty early they started saying, "Oh, mom, please, do we have to go to another workshop of yours?" because they were living in Vestigium, all the time there was something going on. They were growing up with the ton of people, all the time workshops, all the time some trips to farmers, harvesting this, harvesting that. They were pretty happy when I said, okay, you don't have to go. You're big now and you can decide what you want, what you don't want. But it's nice now because we have this space so teenagers can use it on their own and organize their parties and, have some board game nights or play some music or listen to some music, have a sleepover with friends, so yes, this space is really used by my kids and kids from the community, of course, because they're friends. And if it's cold outside and it's raining, of course they won't sit on the benches in the park. They will come here. So I'm happy because of it. And in the city, in this community center in the city, we have started a club for youth, and we have young adults that are organizing some activities for youth, and they exchange. We are like we have like, I don't know, two mentors, and we have like 6 to 7 people that are producing some activities for them. So it's from watching documentaries, board game nights, or evenings of other cultures, so cooking something, and some recycling, upcycling clothes, stuff like that. And we had, through the summer, we have had 30 young people in this club.
Well, it's really good
So,
to see like
mhm.
this wide participations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like have a bit of overview of all those community work, because I think as someone who study climate change, also as climate activists, we often talk about these kind of activists burnout, like because sometimes there is this gap between our expectations and the work that we are doing, and also something happening on the international level. But what I see is that most of the pictures that I've seen of community doing those different projects, there are actually a lot of smiley faces. I'm wondering what's your experience of climate or maybe activist burnout. Have you experienced any of that, or do you think community plays a big part in kind of making people feel connected and supported?
Yeah, I think we realized that during Corona time, because in one moment, somebody just cut everything, and we were supposed to be stuck in our apartments with no food, with no culture, with no socializing. So it was really, for me, it was great because I'm half introvert and half extrovert. I don't know how to say it. I love to be with people, but then I need the same amount of time to be completely alone with myself. So, as I said, meditation helps, but after 1 week, I ordered myself ukulele during Corona, and second day of isolation, I started to learn ukulele, and I was pretty happy about it. But then, seventh day, I said, "Oh, I miss my people. I miss my vegetables. I have to organize something." So we transferred completely our cultural program on Zoom. We had workshops on Zoom. We had board game nights and quizzes on Zoom platform. And our farmers would bring vegetables same time, same place, but they weren't supposed to get it out of the car, but we took it from their cars. So then I realized that everybody else was hungry, of support, of socializing, of people, like, and some cultural activities and community activities, and this, like, everybody was crazy, do you know some farmer? And we had the whole network, of farmers producing food for us. So I realized then I felt really supported, and we had really great network of people, of everybody, and I felt proud back then. In the moment where everybody was desperate, I felt great.
Yeah, I totally get it. And I feel like coronavirus, that period of time was a bit weird, but also there are like things, good things happen, like for us to realize the different dynamics to things. We can do things quite differently.
Mm. For us, it was
Yes.
it was test, and we got straight A's because we've done everything what was in our power to stay, strong and connected. And I felt like nothing can harm us. I felt so strong and confident in our community. That's why we have smiles on our faces, because we are connected and strong, I would say. And yes, if you are trying to, fight the whole world, that could bring you to burnout. But if you are doing what you can with what you have in your local area, in your community, then I think you can reach more. You can do what you can.
Yeah, I think this kind of bond with community is really important to know that we have a whole community who's got our back and who can support us, who can hold us up. So yeah, I do think that as people, we really need to feel belonged to a community. Makes us like more resilient in terms of like different crises.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just talk. We meet every Saturday on this farmers market, and we just, have a coffee, pick up some vegetables, and we talk. Oh, what can we do? Oh, yeah, we will do this, we will do that. We don't have like meetings where we sit and we analyze and we plan. We just, meet on the way and exchange few emails. And if it's needed, yeah, we can have meetings, but we don't practice that. Just, celebration and just go, 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 do.
I'm really impressed by how sometimes a lot of things, they are not that deep. Like you don't have to have a very strong agenda. Things can happen like spontaneously, very casually. Just people get together talking and have an idea and just have a go with it.
Yeah, yeah. We often have people, that miss this structure, and they don't feel safe in this environment, and they leave because, they want a company, they want structure, and it's not how we work. We started, for example, this clothing exchange, and some people had ideas. Yeah, we should have some tokens. You need to change then tokens for clothes. How much clothes you get, how much you brought, that much you can take. And we said, like, no, why? Just bring how much you want and take how much you want. And it was chaotic, but for 1 year, because of this chaos, a lot of people came, because they felt free, and, to try out this. And for us, this 1 year was experimental. Then we could, add some changes, add some rules on on this what we experienced, not in advance.
Yeah, I think it also like maybe it takes a lot of the pressure away, like so it can start really easily instead of like a lot of planning and sometimes you can't get things even get them started.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes, you need a designer to make a poster. You need this, you need that. No, you just release the news and, invite people, and whoever comes is welcome to come. And if it's just you and me, we will do the exchange. We don't, bother if not a lot of people comes. If two people come to some workshop, it was needed. If one person just comes to a workshop, it was needed. And I always tell to the little leaders of the workshop this story of mine, of me, myself, and Irene in the beginning. And I tell to them, maybe it was needed for you to have just one participant, so you can dedicate to him, so you can think about your facilitation of on this workshop. Maybe you need to work more on you, So later, a lot of people can come to your workshop. So don't bother a lot.
Yeah, that does feel like a very like natural process, so it can just like snowballs pretty much from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I'm wondering if there's any like maybe can you tell us about like one like the highest point of your community work and also the lowest point of your community work, and how do you feel about those?
Highest point. Uh, like the highest point for us is almost every Saturday because we do a lot of things in one day in this small space. So it's like a lot of things happen on this day, and uh, I don't know if it's some big event. I get exhausted after it, so I don't like these big things. I don't like things too big. It drains me, so I don't like doing this kind of things. But when we do this kind of events, then usually it's a lot of us involved, so it's easier. But I would say every Saturday is like peak. And the lowest was this in the beginning when we didn't have support.
The lowest point, like what got you through? Is it your belief, or is it your kids, or is it community?
Yeah, I don't know. My husband would say that my stubbornness, maybe, and persistency, something like that. Because I had this goal in my mind that wasn't defined. It was just a sense of something, of world being more colorful and more nice to the people. And this idea just kept me going. This corrupted mayor was, just, yeah, we have to, do this like that, but we will do it because it's needed. We need this. So we just went over it without too many thinking.
Yeah. And I'm also wondering, or do you think that these years of community work, what kind of change has it brought to you personally? Do you feel like more determined about the future, about the power of community? Like in general, what kind of change do you think it has brought to you?
For me, enormous. From when I see back who I was 15 years ago, for me, it's enormous change because I was working in office, for some kind of government institution, some administrative work. So no creativity, a lot of time spent there, and doing actually nothing for the world and for myself. And now I every day I get up, I do something for myself and for the world, and it's colorful, it's happy, it's connecting people, it brings smile to the people's faces and warms their hearts. So I every day I feel very proud on this, very happy.
Yeah, that's such a like a positive mentality to have. I'm like, if I have that, I had no problem getting up at 7 in the morning.
Yes, I got up at 5 this morning.
Wow, did you get a lot of things go doing this
Yes, I
today?
managed to write one project. Then I was doing some cleanup in my backyard. Then my mother came and we went to search for mushrooms in the forest. Then we cooked together. And now I'm having this interview. And at 6 o'clock, we have a workshop of drawing.
That does feel like a very lovely day.
Yes. Yes.
And I see that we are probably slightly running out of time. So just a last couple of questions. So the first one is, if you're asked to leave like one message to the people who are watching this, what would it be?
Oh, I've said so much. I don't think I have any more words left. Oh, I would have to think now about this. Oh, okay. People, every day counts. When you get up in the morning, get up with a reason, and the reason should be to make you and other people around you happy. So do something about it. If you're not happy, do something about it. Don't waste any more time.
Yes, thank you so much for the message. That feels like a very good energy. It's the energy we need. And also, this is something that we do for this project is that we will ask our previous interviewee if they have any question for our next guest. So the question from Paul, who is doing transition work and all the other like environmental activities in France. So the question from him is, what was the last time you convinced someone to join your group?
What was the last time I convinced someone to join my group? Wait.
Or like take part in your activity as well?
Oh, well, I would say yesterday.
So how did that happen?
Well, it happens often. I think we had, we had have a lot of people just, writing for us. They want to do some activities in our space. They want to volunteer. So I get these messages every day. So, but it's not. They already know, what we are doing. So it's not like you have to persuade them. They call us because they want to join.
Yeah, so would you say it's a very like natural process now to get
Yes.
more people engaged?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very natural, and whoever has to come comes.
Yeah. And do you have any question for our next guest?
Our next, okay. So, what makes you happy? What gives sparks to your eyes?
Yes. Thank you so much for the question. And maybe this is also the question I want to ask you. What makes you happy?
Oh, a lot of things. I need to show you my girls'
Right.
game. They are cutting the paper for drawing.
Yeah.
And I like to play ukulele, draw, sing, walk in the nature, garden, and do workshop with kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. And yes, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.